You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken Tech for your ears.
Hello and welcome back. You are tuning into The Vocal Technologist, and I'm your host, ready to plug you into the Matrix on this Friday, January 30th, 2026.
It's great to be back.
So today is a bit of a special one. We're doing our Tech Tuesday deep dive on a Friday.
Well, you know, time is a construct in this industry anyway.
It really is. I swear, by the time I can even finish saying the word Kubernetes...
Oh, it's already too late.
Exactly. 3 new JavaScript frameworks have launched, 2 others have been deprecated, and someone's already reinvented the wheel, probably in Rust.
And they've definitely named the Rust project after some kind of obscure sea creature just to keep things interesting.
Of course. Well, that's why we're here, to try and make sense of it all. So let's set the stage for 2026. It really feels like the dust is settling a bit. Platform engineering is finally a real job. The cloud providers are out there buying up open source projects, and we might finally have an answer to that perennial question. Is AI replacing developers?
Spoiler. It's complicated. But yeah, we're not just reading headlines today. We're looking at the actual machinery that runs the world.
Let's start with the human side of things then. Platform engineering. For a while there, it just felt like another buzzword, you know? Something to get a raise.
It absolutely was. But looking at the data now, from late 2025 into this year, it's stuck. It's become a genuine industrial standard.
So what are we seeing in, mature organizations? Is there like a golden ratio?
There is, actually. And it's settled around 20 developers to 1 platform engineer.
20 to 1. That sounds specific.
It's remarkably efficient. Go much lower, like 10 to 1, and your platform team is probably over-engineering things.
Too much hand-holding.
Exactly. But if you go higher, say 50 to 1, your platform team is just drowning in tickets. 20 to 1 seems to be that sweet spot for building what they call paved roads to production without becoming a bottleneck.
And the goal is speed, I assume.
It's all about speed. The why here isn't just about keeping things running. The data shows this ratio cuts time to market in half.
Wow.
And that's the metric that gets the C-suite's attention. You say 50% faster to market, and they stop asking questions about the cost of your Kubernetes cluster.
Speaking of costs, let's talk about the money. Usually when a role gets standardized, salaries start to dip a little, right? More supply.
You'd think so, but not really. They're stabilizing, but they're still very healthy. In North America, you're looking at an average of around $160,000.
Okay.
And in Europe, it's about $104,000. Now, some might see that as a plateau, but I think of it more as democratization.
How do you mean democratization?
It means the role is stable, it's essential, and it's not just for the big tech unicorns anymore. Mid-sized companies, insurance firms, they all have platform teams now. It's just a standard cost of doing business.
That makes sense. But I saw one skill in particular that's moved from nice to have to mandatory.
AI literacy?
Yeah.
It's now listed as a survival level competency.
Survival level. I love that phrasing.
I mean, if you're building the platform, you have to understand the workloads running on it. And in 2026, those workloads are increasingly agentic. You're not just hosting a simple web app anymore.
Right.
You're hosting autonomous agents that might spin up their own resources. If you don't get that, you can't build a safe or effective platform.
Okay, but here's where it gets a little scary for me. We're building these incredible platforms, but the knowledge of how they work, it seems to be getting more concentrated. Let's talk about the bus factor.
Yeah, the morbidly named bus factor.
Right.
How many people need to get hit by a bus before your project is toast?
It's a classic. But someone reran a 2016 analysis with 2024 data. You'd think with all our fancy tools and AI that explains code, things would be better.
You would absolutely think so. The results were not great. Most projects haven't improved at all.
And some got worse.
Some got worse. The Linux kernel, for example, has actually seen its knowledge distribution decline.
Linux, that's the foundation of everything. That's terrifying.
It is concerning. But the analysis pointed out something really crucial about how we measure this. We always used to look at authorship. Who wrote the code?
But that's flawed.
It's deeply flawed. The real insight is that we should be looking at who reviews the code. That's where you find the real bottlenecks.
So you can have 100 people submitting code, but if only one person is actually reviewing and approving the critical parts.
Then your bus factor is 1. Exactly. AI can generate code all day long, but if only one person truly understands it well enough to say, yes, this is safe to merge, you're incredibly fragile.
We've automated the typing, but not the understanding. which is the perfect segue to the myth that will not die.
The AI is replacing developers' fear.
It never goes away. But the historical context is so funny. We've been trying to do this since 1969.
Literally, it started with COBOL, which was supposed to let business managers write programs in plain English.
And how'd that go?
Well, we still have COBOL programmers, so not great. Then it was case tools in the 80s, then low code, now AI. It always fails for the same reason.
Because it's not a mechanical problem.
It's an intellectual problem. Software is about reasoning, trade-offs, edge cases. Tools give you leverage. They let one developer do the work of 10, but they don't replace the need for that core reasoning. AI is just the newest, biggest lever.
So we're all safe for now. Let's look at how we're actually using that lever, though. The 2025 Go Developer Survey just came out.
Right, and Gophers are a very pragmatic bunch. They don't chase hype.
No, they don't, and they still love the language 91% satisfaction. But there's a huge disconnect with AI.
A huge one. They're using it for learning, for generating boilerplate, the tedious stuff.
But using AI features in production.
Hard pass. There's a noticeable pullback. And the reason is simple. Code quality. They just don't trust it. They've seen the subtle bugs.
It reminds me of that experiment from the Azure SRE team. They were building an AI to diagnose server issues.
Oh, this is the perfect example of context is king. The first thought was probably, let's get a bigger, smarter model. GPT-5 or whatever.
Right. Throw more intelligence at the problem.
But that's not what worked. What worked was what they called context engineering.
Okay, unpack that. How is that different from just prompt engineering?
It's architectural. Instead of giving the AI 50 different specialized tools it has to guess between, they collapse them into a few wider, more general tools. Then, and this is the key, they curated the exact information the AI saw.
So it's less about the brain and more about the evidence you give it.
Precisely. A decent model with perfect context will outperform a genius model with a messy, confusing context every single time. It's about setting the table properly before you eat.
And that ties right into this trend of using smaller LLMs with arg retrieval augmented generation.
Yep. You don't need a model that knows every Shakespearean sonnet if all you wanted to do is write code for your company's internal API.
There's a great example where someone was trying to get a big model to write code for a niche Golang library.
And it just hallucinated. Made up functions that looked plausible but didn't exist. But when they used Argy to feed the actual documentation to a smaller local model, it worked perfectly.
And that local part is huge for privacy.
It's crucial. We're seeing tools like OpenCode and Docker Model Runner get really popular because they let you do this in-house. The inference happens on your hardware. No code ever leaves the building.
Which is a must-have for finance, healthcare, anyone with sensitive data. Speaking of money, let's talk about GEICO. They just cut their cloud spend by $300 million.
300 million. It's a number so big it almost sounds fake.
How? Did they just unplug a data center?
They modernized their architecture. The big move was decoupling security from the network. They moved away from old-school firewalls and IP whitelisting to identity-based controls.
So it's not where are you from, but who are you?
Exactly. They used HashiCorp Vault for that, and it let them simplify their infrastructure so dramatically that the savings just cascaded. It wasn't just about money either. It built a foundation that's ready for AI and modern apps.
But then you hear someone like the CEO of Cloudbee saying migration is a mirage. That feels like a contradiction.
It's a really important warning, though. He's talking about confusing modernization with migration.
Just lifting and shifting.
Yes. Taking your old, inefficient monolith, dumping it on a cloud VM, and then being shocked when your bill is even higher. The cloud charges you for every cycle of that inefficiency.
It's the garbage in, expensive garbage out problem.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes the answer is to modernize the app in place before you even think about moving it.
So when you do it right, infrastructure as code is the way to go. DNSimple moved everything over to Terraform.
Right, and the big win there was replacing a bunch of brittle manual scripts with a consistent automated workflow. And now we're seeing things like Spacelift opening up its platform with plugins.
Oh, yeah, so you can extend the IAC workflow?
Right. You can plug security scanners and cost estimators directly into your pipeline. So before you even merge, you get a check that says, not just does this compile, but also, can we afford this and is this compliant?
Putting the guardrails right on the highway. I love it. Okay, brace yourself. Let's enter the nerd corner.
My favorite place. Let's get technical.
Rust 1.93. What's the scoop?
They bundled Muscle version 1.2.5. This is a big deal for anyone building static Linux binaries. But there was a breaking change involved.
A trade-off.
A trade-off. But it was worth it. It now allows global memory allocators to safely use thread local storage.
Okay, for those of us not compiling our own kernel this weekend, what does that actually mean?
It means better performance and fewer crashes in highly concurrent apps. It's the kind of deep, system-level plumbing that just makes everything else run better.
Got it. Okay, next up, curl drama.
Protocol wars are the best. So curl is dropping support for the OpenSSL-QUIC backend.
Really? I thought OpenSSL was the gold standard.
For TLS, yeah.
Yeah.
But for QUIC, which is what powers HTTP3, their implementation was just not great. Poor performance, high memory use, so the curl team is sticking with GTTP2 instead.
It just goes to show that even for a settled standard like HTTP3, the implementation battles are still raging.
Absolutely. The spec is one thing, the engine that runs it is another.
All right, what about on the database side? I saw some unconventional tricks for PostgreSQL.
Yeah, this is for the data analytics folks. Instead of the standard B-tree index, some are using something called hash-backed exclusion constraints with constraint exclusion.
That sounds like a magic spell.
Kind of works like one. For certain types of large analytical queries, it can be dramatically faster by telling the database all the data it doesn't need to look at. It's a great reminder to not always trust the defaults.
Love it. Okay, last one. It is 2026. Please tell me we're done with IPv4 exhaustion.
I wish. Nope. The pool of available addresses is totally flat. The internet is basically running on duct tape and network address translation.
Just routers behind routers behind routers.
Pretty much. And get this, IPv6 allocations actually slowed down in 2025. We are not heading towards that dream of every device having its own public IP. We're stuck in this NAT world.
So IPv4 is the zombie that just refuses to die.
It's the vinyl record of the internet. It's old and clunky, but everyone still has a player for it.
I am stealing that. Okay, let's zoom out. Big industry moves. Cloudflare is buying everything.
They're on a shopping spree. They bought Astro, the web framework.
The whole team is joining them, right?
The whole team. And Astro 6 is coming with a new dev server. It's a perfect fit for Cloudflare. They want to own the developer experience at the edge.
And they also bought a company called Human Native.
This one's really interesting. It's all about acquiring high-quality, legally licensed data for training AI models. The whole scrape the entire internet approach is ending.
Because of all the lawsuits.
Exactly. So Cloudflare is betting that clean, licensed data is going to be a huge market. They want to sell the shovels in the AI gold rush.
Smart. And speaking of giants, AWS is not sitting still.
The new EC2 X8i instances.
The specs are just bananas.
They're powered by Intel's new Xeon 6 chips, and they go up to 6 terabytes of memory.
6 terabytes of RAM? What do you even run on that? A simulation of the known universe.
Close. Massive in-memory databases. Think SAP HANA. When you have a data set the size of a small library and you need to query it instantly, you put the whole thing in RAM. AWS is just flexing, saying, if you can dream up the workload, we can build the machine.
It's incredible. So let's try to tie this all together. What's the big theme for 2026?
I think it's refinement. If you look at all these threads, platform engineering getting standardized, GEICO saving money not by leaving the cloud but by optimizing it.
Yeah.
AI developers focusing on context over raw power. It's all about refinement.
We're past the initial chaotic rush.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're not just moving to the cloud anymore. We're figuring out how to pay the bill.
Right.
We're not trying to replace developers with AI. We're giving them tools with better context. It's about making the massive shifts of the last few years actually work day to day.
And hopefully making sure more than one person understands how the Linux kernel works.
Yeah, we still need to work on that buzz factor.
It leaves me with a final thought for you to chew on. If our tools are getting so much better and AI can write so much code for us, why is our knowledge distribution, our bus factor, getting worse? Are we optimizing our code at the expense of our team's resilience? Building systems so complex and so highly leveraged that only a handful of people can ever truly understand them.
That is the danger, isn't it? High leverage is amazing until the lever snaps.
Something to think about. That's all the time we have.
Keep building and keep optimizing.
Thanks for tuning in. We will catch you on the next one. Goodbye.
Spoken Tech for your ears.